Cerigg wears a flustered expression on his face. Ah, there you are. You'll be happy to know that the boy is awake, and seems to be no worse for wear. Physically speaking, at least. There's just one rub, you see. He has no recollection of where he came from, or just how he managed to get swallowed up into the void. Surprising. In fact, other than his own name, Tainer, he can't remember much of anything at all. He seems a good lad, mind you. Eats my half-arsed cooking with a smile and nary a word of complaint. Yet I reckon he's hurting inside, and badly. You must reunite him with his parents, with all due speed. Right. I guess that I suggested that he go for a stroll around Mordsuk, in the hopes that the sights might help to jog his memories. He can't have wandered far. Why don't you go check up on him? So my theory right now is that he was actually taken by the flood, right? And this black mage, you know, being one of the warriors of light who went around helping people. Yeah, oh, actually it has a fucking symbol for where he's at. The black mage, being one of the people that was helping people before the flood, actually took him into the void as a means of, like, saving his life, but being consumed as a sin eater, he has no way of actually pulling him back out of the void. So he's just leaving him about, hoping that people will go and pull people out of the void. I realize this is something of a detour, but we simply can't leave a poor amnesiac orphan to fend for himself now, can we? Let's find the boy a safe home as soon as we can. Oh.
Do not tell me. You were the one who rescued me from the flow, yes? I feel from you the same warmth that reached out to me when I was adrift in the aether.
Not doing a good little boy impression.
Well, I'll be damned. The boy's a sharp one.
And that's not the least of it. The carer who examined him said they could feel great power welling up from within him. Despite his young age, Tainer here seems to possess a remarkable command of the magical arts.
Perhaps I do, and yet I cannot say. Try as I might, I can recall nothing of who I am, or where I came from. Only the darkness.
No need to apologize, boy. You did well just to make it back to us. Speaking of which, can you remember anything at all of what you felt when you were adrift in the void?
That I remember, or at least I think I do. I recall a vague sensation of someone passing alongside me. Indeed, I believe this is what roused me from my slumber.
If the Hollows truly are a gate between worlds, that would mean that someone recently traveled from ours to another, or from another to ours. But that's not possible. Or is it? You'd be surprised. You know something I don't, friend. Worry not, I won't pry for details. Ah well, no sense racking our brains over matters beyond our comprehension. Let's concentrate on what we can do, namely, finding the boy here at home. No doubt his memories will come back to him in due time.
You'd truly do that for me? But the two of you have already saved my life. I couldn't possibly burden you any further.
Ha! It's no burden at all. Besides, if we could figure out just who you are and where you came from, it just might lead us to the answers we seek. Now, let's consider the options. One possibility is that you're an orphan, all alone in this world, with not a soul to care for or look after you.
Thanks.
And yet, this seems unlikely. Yes, the mystical powers you possess say otherwise. If you are truly as skilled in magic as they say, then it stands to reason that someone trained you in the art. Who this master, of course, is, and whether you are of their blood or simply received their tutelage, this I cannot say. But either way, I am certain they're worried sick about you.
If that truly is so, I would very much like to meet this person too.
That settles it then. Let's get down to business. I took the liberty of inquiring around Mord Sook, the Crystarian. Unfortunately, there have been no reports of missing persons matching Tainer's description, which means that we have no choice but take our search elsewhere. I know of a merchant in town whose travels often take him far afield. Let us have a talk with him and see if he's heard any helpful rumors. Okay. So, new theory. Two new theories even. He could be just, what was his name? Nilebert. He could just be Nilebert turned young. This is just kind of like some weird spiritual version of him. Or he could be, like, Nilebert could be the mage who taught him. You know, anyway.
The two of you are far too kind. I cannot thank you enough.
Impressive how Tainer's managed to keep himself together, huh? The boy's mature beyond his years, no doubt.
Hello, savvy merchant.
Rumors of a missing boy, you say? Funny that you ask. It's a long shot, I reckon. But I overheard something the other day that might be of use. On my way to Mord Sook, I stopped over at the inn at Journey's Head. There I met an ailing mage. As the carers told it, he'd been ambushed by a sin eater and was separated from his child in the battle. Bloody hells, could it be? The sin eater that attacked the poor man was Phronesis. That would explain everything.
This man you speak of, he could be my father? We must go to him at once.
Agreed. I only hope that the man is... No, there's no point in presuming the worst. Let us make for the inn, and see what the carers there can tell us. The man was in rough shape, I fear. For the child's sake, I hope he's doing better than when I last saw him.
I hope these people don't, nearly die because, I'm the fucking light bearer at this point, and these people were doing fine after the light left.
My father is here? But this place is...
I just hope whatever we find here puts a smile on the poor boy's face.
Hello, concerned carer.
Ho there. I hear there's a mage in your care who's lost his boy. Well, I do believe we have him right here.
I fear there must be some mistake. The boy in question has already been found. This is him right here. What? So it wasn't my father after all? This boy with you, he too has been separated from his family?
Just so. We heard that a man here was looking for his son, and we just hoped. Alas, it seems it wasn't meant to be.
But there are many people here, yes? Might I ask around and see if any of the others are my family? But of course. Yet many of the people here are quite ill, and in many cases in considerable pain. It is not a place for a young child to walk around unattended.
Indeed it's not. Guess that means either myself or Fluxy here should accompany him.
I'll go with him. The walk might help me, or take my mind off things.
Not a bad idea. If the lad doesn't mind, I reckon Tanner would rather be with someone of his own age.
What do you say? Sure.
Take his mind off things? Speaking of which, how is the boy's father holding up?
I fear the poor man has already departed on his journey. He is a man no longer.
Oh. Kinda figured. With the way that kid was talking.
The child insisted upon staying by his father's side until the last. I permitted this out of respect for him, though part of me regrets the choice. None so young should suffer such horrors. It was some small solace to learn that he has living relatives who reside at the Crystarium. In fact, I was just making preparations to escort him there myself.
I see. Reckon we should also find someone to look after Tanner as well. Don't get me wrong, friend. I haven't given up on the prospect of finding the boy's family, but we have no other leads and a deadly sin eater's still on the loose. If the lad tags along with us every step of the way, he's far more likely to end up dead or worse than to ever reunite with his family. Here's what I propose. We'll find someone to watch after Tanner for the time being, get back on the hunt, and gather whatever clues we can find about his origins along the way.
Very well, but we must see that he is safe, because I agree. He should not be with us right now.
Aye, that goes without saying. Let us have a talk with the proprietor of the Wandering Stairs. He's a kindly enough chap, and knows damn near everyone in these parts. With any luck, he'll be able to direct us to a willing and able guardian.
Okay.
Look, I don't like this any more than you do, but it's the best we can do for the boy given our circumstances. At any rate, let's find him and share the news. Don't worry, it's my decision, and I intend to take responsibility for it.
Forgive me, my friends. I wish there was more we could do for the child, but our resources are already stretched terribly thin. I wish you luck in finding his family.
Okay. Where is he?
Where is he? There is he.
Forlorn boy.
I'm sorry. It's all my fault.
Ruh-roh.
Bad news, friend. Seems the two young ones got into a quarrel of sorts and Tanner's up and run away. Seems that the lad mentioned how he'd come out from one of the hollows. The other boy put two and two together and figured he'd been attacked by a sin eater.
Then I said, my dad was attacked by a sin eater, and then he turned into one himself. So I asked, what if you turned into a sin eater too? Tanner's face went all white. He kept saying, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" over and over and over again. I couldn't take it anymore. Before I knew it, I was shouting at him, "Shut up! Just shut up! I bet you're turning into a sin eater already." Why? Why did I say such a mean, nasty thing?
Don't be too hard on yourself, lad. Both of you have had a rough go of it these past few days. Nobody could blame either one of you for feeling a bit on edge. But we must hurry and find Tanner before he comes to harm. Let's split up. I'll search to the west and you can take the east. And be careful out there.
You'll bring Tanner back, won't you? I just want to tell him I'm sorry.
Oh lordy. Alright. Come on, Tainer. Let's go to safety.
When I heard the clamor of battle, I feared the worst, but I see that you have everything under control. Are you okay, lad?
Forgive me. I don't deserve this kindness.
Knock it off, you're fine.
I was just so scared. I was worried about what would become of me if I never recovered my memories. And I started to think, what if I ended up like that boy's father? What if it's already happening to me?
That's one matter you need worry with. The carer who examined you told me as such. You suffered no direct wounds. You're in no more danger of turning into a sin eater than Fluxy or me.
I wouldn't say that. Is that so? That's good to hear, but I must apologize to that boy. I should have known better than to badger him about such things, especially after what happened to his father.
You're a good lad. Funny thing, that. He was saying the same thing about you. You both have good hearts, lad. And you've been through more than any man should. There's no need to be ashamed about your feelings.
There is still so much I do not understand about this world. Why does no one here know of me? Am I doomed to be alone for the rest of my days? Why? Why must it be this way? If only I could remember something. Anything. I'm sick of not knowing who I am. I'm sick of being alone.
Oof. Yes, flashback me to his past. I want to know.
Oh, they were trying to do the same thing, huh?
Now it's your turn, Tainer. And do not be disheartened by your last attempt. Even the greatest of mages have known failure.
Your command of magic is the equal of my own. If I can succeed, there is no reason why you cannot. Free your mind of worry and focus. Thank you, Nilebert. I shall try my best. I was close. They were friends.
Wicked White. Are you alright, Fluxy?
Yeah, I just have these visions I can see into people's pasts. And I know for a fact that this boy is actually the friend of Nilebert.
I remember now. I was standing here on these blighted plains. My head hung low in shame. Then Nilebert turned to me with a smile and heartening words. Nilebert. Why does that name sound so familiar?
I reckon we've much to discuss. But not in this god's forsaken place. Let's head back to the inn and see if we can't get to the bottom of this.
Yeah. This boy has traveled through time. Shit's fucked.
We have much to discuss, but first, we should let the two boys make their peace.
I do hope he'll forgive me. Tainer! Are you alright? I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said those nasty things. Forgive me for reacting as I did. I'm fine. In fact, I seem to have recovered some of my memories. Really? That's wonderful. Maybe you won't feel so scared and lonely anymore. I'm leaving to go live in the Crystarium with my relatives. Promise me you'll come visit? I mean, after you get your memories back and all, of course. It's a promise. Until next time, my friend. Bye! See you never, idiot!
I knew that you two would work things out. Now, let us return to Mordsuk. We have more than our share of questions that need answering.
Green check.
Yes.
I cannot help but feel I also made a promise to that boy in my memories. Albert, was it?
As I saw it, first you fainted all of a sudden. When you came to, a portion of Tainer's memories had returned. What in the world happened out there?
But you see, I have the ability to see into people's pasts. I can't remember what it's called. I call it the vision.
Power to look into the past, eh? And you're certain that what Fluxy describes matches up with your own recollection of the past?
Positive.
I don't know how to break this to you, lad, but your friend Nilebert that was with you that day, he's no ordinary boy. He's none other than the very man who became Phronesis, one of those goddamn warriors of light. If he was just a young child in your memories, that means that what you saw took place over 100 years ago. Would that it were just a coincidence, another boy with the same name. But no. Judging from the formidable command of magic, we can only assume it was him.
On the way back, I managed to recall some more about Nilebert and myself. We were talking in a group of mages. We were taken in by a group of mages. A consortium of sorts. God damn. Recruiting. We were taken in by a group of mages. A consortium of sorts. They were searching for a means to open a hole to another world, and were recruiting young children with high magical aptitude for the task. Nilebert and myself were the two they chose.
You can't be serious. And yet, that would explain the Sin Eater's ability to summon those damned hollows. And if you possess the same knowledge and trained as Nilebert did, it could also explain why you were able to survive in there all that time. But what I don't understand is, why haven't you aged at all?
I cannot say for sure, and yet my memories, they're slowly coming back to me. In time, I may be able to help you find a way to close the hollows.
You'd be a lifesaver if you could, but don't overburden yourself. You're still recovering after all. In the meantime, don't worry. Fluxy and I will see that you're safe.
Huh? Putting a lot of burden on me, aren't you?
I thought Tainer was just a victim of the Sin Eater. To think he was actually friends with the man himself. Back when he was still a man. This can't be simple coincidence. Yes, I'm convinced of it now. The child holds the key to defeating Phronesis. We must keep him safe, and not let him out of our sights. Besides, look at how hard he's trying to recover his memories. I'm not so heartless as to kick the poor lad aside before he's figured matters out.
I knew you had a heart.
Whatever. But we can't very well rush things. You and I will continue to prepare for the battle ahead, while waiting for the rest of Tainer's memories to come back to him. That is to say, if it's all right with you, lad.
I'm so sorry. I couldn't possibly burden you any further.
Look, lad, I've only known you a short while, but I can tell you've a good heart, and a good head on your shoulders. I can only begin to imagine the horrors you've been through, not to mention the fears and uncertainty you face even now. But I want you to promise me this: no more apologies. You're no burden to us, not in the least. You're a valuable member of our band, and as long as you're willing, I want you with us. Isn't that right, Fluxy?
Yep, he's got that right. Damn sure. Yes, sir.
I see. Thank you, Cerigg. Thank you, Fluxy. I will aid your quest in whatever way I can.
Now that's more like it. We're counting on you, lad.